welcome back, precious test subjects. We have important stuff to talk about.
What do you think you're doing, Albert? It is not your time to narrate.
Ignorant cretins.
I'm sure he'll be back. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the RE News headlines.
Hey! What do you think you're doing?
Alyssa! I mean, Miss Ashcroft, I never meant to. Whatever. I'm terribly sorry. The moment is yours.
Damn right it is. Now get the hell out of here and let me do my job. Thank you very much.
Jesus.
Ha!
Shut up, Albert.
We've wasted enough time as it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Alyssa Ashcroft and this is RE News. It's official. As of 26 November 2024, PlayStation players can finally buy Resident Evil Director's Cut and Dino Crisis directly from PlayStation Store. These two cult games from the PS1 era are now available on PS4 and PS5 without the need for a PlayStation Plus premium subscription. It's like Christmas has come early for survival horror fans. Capcom's decision is excellent news for a number of reasons. Firstly, there's no need to pay a fortune for a premium subscription just to play these titles. Secondly, it's an encouraging step towards preserving our video game heritage. It means that these classics remain accessible to new generations of gamers. And thirdly, gamers can now choose to buy only the games that interest them or simply play them via streaming. And what if this initiative paved the way for other classics? Just imagine being able to replay Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid, or Castlevania Symphony of the Night on our modern consoles without the need for an expensive subscription. Wouldn't that be brilliant? A documentary on the canceled film by George A. Romero, the father of modern zombies, is about to see the light of day. George A. Romero's Resident Evil is an upcoming American documentary, directed and co-written by Brandon Salisbury, about the unrealized film adaptation of the horror video game series Resident Evil, for which filmmaker George A. Romero was considered as director. In 1998, Romero wrote a draft script for a Resident Evil film for Constantin Film, but the game series publisher, Capcom, rejected the script. A film adaptation written and directed by Paul W. S. Anderson and produced by Constantin Film was finally released in 2002. George A. Romero's Resident Evil features interviews with key figures associated with the unmade adaptation of Resident Evil, as well as archive footage and unearthed documents relating to the project. The documentary is filmed in a mansion, supposedly reminiscent of the fictional Spencer Mansion that served as the setting for the first Resident Evil game. Pablo Kuntz, the original voice of Albert Wesker in the original game, narrates the documentary. The documentary will be released digitally on the 7th of January 2025. Save the date on your calendars, folks.
George A. Romero's Resident Evil.
Speaking of George A. Romero, we've just learned that Milla Jovovich, the heroine of the Resident Evil films, is returning to zombie movies with Twilight of the Dead, adapted from a screenplay by the great Romero. While the Resident Evil saga is behind her, the actress will be returning to zombies, and it will be directly adapted from a script by Romero, conceived as the final installment in his saga of the living dead, Twilight of the Dead. Just before his death, Romero was preparing the 7th installment of his saga, and had written a script with Paolo Zalati about the near extinction of the human race. The project was put back on track in 2021 by his wife, Suzanne Romero, who had every intention of bringing Romero's apocalyptic nightmares to fruition. Things are taking shape as Deadline announced in November 2024 that Twilight of the Dead had found a director and a cast. Director Brad Anderson will be taking over Twilight of the Dead, with Milla Jovovich and Betty Gabriel in the lead roles. 20 years ago, Brad Anderson's name was synonymous with Session 9 and The Machinist, two films that propelled him onto the list of new talents to watch closely. Since then, he hasn't necessarily lived up to those debuts, with Trans-Siberian and Empire of Shadows going unnoticed. Twilight of the Dead will follow a group of survivors on a tropical island. The story will show the dark side of the human race from the point of view of the very last survivors, caught between several groups of undead. The film is due to be shot sometime in 2025, with the welcome return of makeup specialist Greg Nicotero, who began his career in 1985 on Romero's Day of the Living Dead, and has since worked on The Walking Dead. Something to keep an eye on for zombie fans. That's the end of our program. Thank you for following us. We look forward to seeing you soon for another edition of RE News. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more RE content. My name is Alyssa Ashcroft, and I hope you have a wonderful day.